In this session, I want to talk about both objectives and strategy maps. The word objective is different from a goal because a goal, as we set in the previous session where we talked about mapping out our business, from an objective, because an objective is even more specific. So whereas a goal could be that I would like to be a good marathon runner, an objective is that I would like to run a mile under 4 minutes. And so notice the specificity of objectives. What we do when we have our objectives is then map them into our strategy. And that's what this lecture is going to be about. So we have our objectives and strategy map, and we're going to connect these to the dashboard. The strategy map is a visual model of the business strategy, and it formalizes our focus and supports our strategy-related direction. What we have is, if we remember, we spoke about our objectives. Remember, on the left-hand side, we had our perspectives from just memory, mission, customer focus, internal processes, learning and knowledge, and finances. Well, next to the perspectives, we actually have objectives, what we want to achieve. And notice that these are quite general. And what we do is we add KPIs, key performance indicators, to these objectives that make them even more specific. So that will be done in the next session. But right now, we're just focusing on these objectives. And we map these objectives to our strategic map. Okay? So if you think about it, the strategy map helps us sort of guide this process. Let me show you exactly what a strategy map looks like. So I've taken this exact Balanced Scorecard perspective, this dashboard, and put it onto a strategy map right over here. And what we find is that we have the mission, and we're going to start here right at the bottom. And what we have is the objectives per perspective, and we map the links between these different objectives. So increased retention of staff is linked to the accreditation of staff. The accreditation of staff is therefore linked to the productivity of programs and the productivity of staff. Notice how those links are there. When we talk about program quality and program accreditation, we also have to think about how that relates to our customer satisfaction and the referral services. So notice how these now link to these objectives and how these customer satisfaction links to these referral services. So there's a relationship between these, and it's almost like you're following a path, you're following a maze, right? In this case, you're following a strategy map. So we go from the referral services, notice how this links to sustainability and to the mission, right? And so how this customer satisfaction relates to charitable giving, which relates to a more inclusive organization, and how these mission-based objectives interrelate with one another. And so when we're thinking about a strategy map, we can go from any one of these perspectives. In this case, we ordered it from learning and knowledge, and we went up towards our mission. But you can tweak it and move it as you please. And if you need, you can create this in Excel and think about how this could apply to your work. The strategy map is a very, very important piece, because when we go back to our dashboard, we not only need to know whether we're reaching the objectives of our mission and our customer focus, for example, but we need to know how reaching that mission impacts the other perspectives. And so having a map helps us put everything in one place.